Hello everybody, it's Conquering History Games, and it is time for another campaign in Kaiserreich, Hearts of Iron 4. We're on Alpha 0.5 now, and I know that there are a lot of new countries that have come out. Down here we got, Deutsch Middle Africa, Liberia, Norway, and many others. But I actually wanted to go to an already completed tree, but one that I hear has gotten some new events. I'm going to be playing as the Dominion of India for a couple of reasons. The first one being that both my Bharatiya Commune and Princely Federation campaigns in some ways ended prematurely. I was not able to, thank you Kaiserreich team, I was unable to, if we take a look at their focuses here, finish all of the incorporations into of the cores. Like, I wasn't able to finish coring everything. So for example, the Princely Federation one I did 0.5 dropped the next day, and I just didn't feel like reverting to the patch since I had already basically conquered the rest of India. And then the Commune one was the first Indian nation that I had played, and I got really frustrated with how long the coring takes. And then by the time I decided I wanted to go and finish that campaign, we were already again on a new update. So I'm starting this Dominion of India playthrough right now, so that I have lots and lots of time before the 0.6 comes out, and I can figure out exactly what it is I want to do. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. So, this is the Dominion of India. We're just gonna do, this is the British-held region of the subcontinent, and I'm just gonna start setting up some of these people here, figuring out exactly what I want to do. Okay, these are the ones with tanks, right? So I want to make sure I have the templates properly designed. Okay, we'll go with that here. Oh, oops. Okay, we want the tank with the skull. And I'm just doing this so I can identify who is who better. For this, I want the little skull in the helmet, because their brains are getting rattled from all the artillery. And for the regular infantry, you get the crossed rifles. Okay, we're ready to go there. Now, the war with Afghanistan is going to happen pretty early, and so what I'm hoping will happen is that I can manage to occupy Afghanistan before the I'm not sure which field marshal I want to go with here. We're going to go Alright, we're going to go with a Maharaj for right now. But the things with Afghanistan, the goal here, the long-term goal, is I not only want to defeat the other two Indian main countries, I want to take over the entire subcontinent. Everything that I have a focus for occupying, I want to occupy. So that means not only defeating the Princely Federation and the Commune, but also having Madrid, having Ceylon, having Goa, Burma, Bhutan, Nepal, and I'm also going to occupy Afghanistan so we can stop this bullshit fighting with them every few years. Alright, let me get getting my set up here. I've got one naval dockyard, no air force at all. See, I have 0 planes, though I do have a small navy. It's just a few cruisers, some pre-Weltkrieg cruisers. We're just going to set them to patrol for right now until I can think of something better to do with them. Only have the basic military equipment, which is a little bit unfortunate. I don't think, actually, we're gonna pass on the support equipment for now, and the main goal here is just to is just to fill up on the infantry equipment, because logistically I believe I'm a little bit behind. Yes, I am. Research slots, let's get that improved infantry equipment first, and then get the basic machine tools and electronic engineering. Right now we are social conservatives under George V of Windsor. These things will eventually change. Now, for my first research, I'm thinking about going civilian industry, but I could reform the army. I can't prepare for the final struggle yet or join the ISAC, so I think I'm actually going to expand the Imperial Indian Navy, because 3 additional dockyards will actually allow me to start building a navy. A very tiny one, but certainly one that will be bigger than the Princely Federation or the Commune of Bharatiya. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I guess in some ways this can be seen as another observation game of how 0.5 works. I am going to also like alternate between recording this and recording a 0.5 country. I'm not sure who it's going to be yet. I'm currently torn between Norway and Siam. 1936, Delhi's darkest hour. The Delhi government is the self-proclaimed legal successor state to the British Raj, yet within its borders different factions vie for power. The progressive Rajas and the bourgeoisie are content with authoritarian... Did I say Rajas? Fuck. Is it Rajas? I don't know. It's the Hispanic in me. Are content with authoritarian dominion status, but radical nationalists and independent activists are still calling for the expulsion of the British. Tensions are running high inside the Red Fort as well as the nation's central parliament. To the north, the Afghans watch our every move, while the decadent southern princes, in their so-called federation, plot our downfall. To the east, the syndicalist scum of the Bharatiya commune may well succumb to totalism, posing another huge threat for our nation. Reform is necessary, otherwise we will be wiped off the face of the planet, and the British will have failed to rule India just like Alexander, the Mughals, and all others that have come before him. Have faith in the Maharaj and the King Emperor. Remnants of the Mirage. A curious mix of princely states and old British colonial administration. Delhi is governed by the Viltkrieg hero Maharaja Gang Singh and his government of Raj administrators and northwestern native princes. However, it has been a decade since revolution threw India into anarchy, and it has become painfully obvious that the need for reform is dire. For God, Emperor, and India. So I think those were events that already existed, but there's supposed to be new ones that have been created for Entente countries. So should be interesting to see what those are. We have Canada, of course, as the head of our faction. Our ideology has grown. Yeah, we don't need this. As the head of our faction right now, and we also have the French Republic in it, as well as the Australasian Confederation. Is this a new portrait? The artists have really done a lot of good stuff in 0.5. I'm liking the art a lot so far. The passing of King George V, the ousted King of Britain, George V, finally succumbed to the illness that had plagued him since the Revolution, sweeping through the home isles. As the head of state of the Dominion of India, Delhi, his death will certainly cause trouble among the competing fractions of the former Raj, but for now the Chamber of Princes will head a regency until the coronation of his son Edward. The Entente enters a state of mourning. So now we have the Council of Princes in charge, which lowers our national unity, our division organization, and we're paying more consumer good factories, so we're up to 50%. Isn't that wonderful? Invitation to the Imperial Conference of 1936. Canada has invited us to the Imperial Conference of 1936 to discuss matters relating to the matters of the British Empire. It would not do if the Australasian Confederation did not have a voice at the conference. Okay, so that's probably an error. Let us go, because we're not the Australasian Confederation. Let us go to Ottawa. That probably is something that everybody gets, as far as events go. Who else is in the Entente with me, actually? I don't remember. Canada... Oh, the Caribbean Federation, right. The goal of the Empire. The Prime Minister of Canada gave a rousing speech of retaking Great Britain from the so-called Union of Britain. The British Empire cannot be called British without liberating our fellow Britons, be they English, Welsh, or Scottish, from the horrors and tyranny that exist within the Union of Britain. Great Britain will be liberated and free. 3 cheers for the Empire. Gets event the Indian Empire. It is not in our interests. Gets event the Indian Empire. So I've been really torn here. I don't know if I want to go, because there's 4 possible political ways I could go. I've been debating either going market liberal or social democrat, neither of which I have a full campaign of up on my channel. But I feel like... I'm trying to think what is a better story. I think I'm going to do market liberal, actually. And then maybe that will spur on the Canadians to do the same. You know, we're going to fight for capitalism here. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to help them take back the Union of Britain, because I'm going to be spending at least the first third of the game, you know, uniting the subcontinent, and even after that, I still have to core it. But we'll go ahead and give 3 cheers for the Empire for a little bit of political power. There's worse things in the world. Now, the Indian Empire. With the overall goal of the empire now clear, the delegate from Delhi stands up and delivers a speech about how the crown jewel of the British Empire, India, must be reunited. The traitors to the south and anarchists to the east must be destroyed, and good responsible government must return to India under the rule of the King Emperor. India must be united. So the rest of them are going to get an event. Okay, so this is where I guess they are going to decide to pledge to help. So I suppose we should all pledge to help one another. Maybe there's some bonuses in it for us. Oh, you see, look, investments right there. Black Monday is hit. Right. The delegate from the Caribbean Federation spoke today about the need for investing in the various dominions, stressing that the British dominions need a strong economy in order to take back Great Britain from the anarchist traitors that took control of the country. The empire needs investments. It is not in our interest. So I guess we'll invest. Shouldn't investments take away political power? So it's like you invest it and then you'll get something back later. The empire's research. The final speaker of the day, the delegate from Australasia, stands up and speaks on the need for scientific investment. The economy needs modern science in order to keep up to pace and not stagnate, while the military to take back India and Great Britain needs the most modern weapons. Research investment for the empire is not in our interest. Yeah, why wouldn't you invest? All right, the conference is over. I like the idea of a conference, though. It's kind of like a third international, but for the Entente. The Imperial Conference of 1936 is now over. With it over, we can now focus on working on putting into practice the decisions that came about at the conference. There is hope that perhaps the conference marked a dawn of a new era for the Dominions and a strengthening of bonds, but only time will tell. God save the king. And the Afghan-British War immediately has started. So, let's assign somebody here. I got some decent generals. A lot of threes here. Ooh, Cohen, he's my jungle rat. I'm definitely going to use this guy over here if I have to start getting into it with Burma later. This guy's an engineer. Okay, I want one of the threes. I could grab him, start making him a mountain man. Maharaj Rambar Singh. Or Maharaj Sawai Man Singh II. Let's go with him as our mountain man. And go. Move quickly now. Afghanistan invades. Sensing a moment of weakness following the death of George V, Afghanistan has invaded. This is not the first time they have done this, as following the Weltkrieg, they attacked and sold the cities of Peshawar and Quetta. We must protect the Dominion. Jai Hind! We will drive back these dogs and reclaim our hands. The Fifth Anglo-Afghani War. After the Weltkrieg, as the British Raj collapsed into turmoil and warfare, the neighboring kingdom of Afghanistan took advantage of this as an opportunity to seize Peshawar and Quetta, both border regions of the Dominion. However, the Afghani government's attempts to modernize over the last decades have been met with fierce resistance from the conservative elements within the country. King Amanullah Khan now hopes to use the turmoil in Delhi following the death of George V to his advantage. By repeating the success of the Fourth Anglo-Afghan War, the king hopes to silence the conservative opposition and bring new lands to the crown. However, international experts do not put many hopes on the tiny mountain nation winning the conflict. Who cares about Afghanistan? And I actually need to draw a line here. So the thing with Afghanistan, though, it usually doesn't happen, is you kind of want to just as quickly as possible snatch up it and just defeat it. Oh, let's also take this time. There's not enough world tension. Well, I could get to... I don't think I'm going to get to partial mobilization. You know what? I'm just not going to do anything here yet because it's going to cost me political power if it doesn't work. But there's an event pop-up called Victory in Afghanistan, and you can decide what to core, what to occupy. And the one that I want to take costs like 150 political power or something like that. So you ideally want to just... wait, come up here. Come over here. You ideally want to put yourself in a position where you've already occupied Afghanistan before that event pop-up happens. But it's unlikely. But we're moving really quick here because I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It happens like in a month as soon as you begin to push them back a little. And we finish expanding the Navy. So I think I also want to purchase these old ships because I eventually want to come way down here, although that's not going to be till very late game. But I want to take that political power hit now, not later. On the other hand, I also need to address the diarchy. There's a few things I have to do. So let's start reforming the army instead. Alright, no, don't get caught in a fight. Don't get caught in a fight now. Alright. Why aren't they attacking? Are their divisions not assigned? No, they are. They're just, not doing anything. Actually, that's a good thing. Because, I think if I'm not careful... I think it's if I take back these lands down here, like Peshawar, that's when the event pop-up happens. But I'm not totally sure. No, where are you going? Keep going, keep going. Alright, Nicholas E. Glaus has been elected as the chairman of the TUC. Cool, so that should be relatively easy to defeat them now. Construction will be needed. Still waiting for the pop-up about who's going to replace the Council of Princes. Alright, we took it. Let's come on down here. You guys take that. You guys take that. Actually, where does that put them as far as capitulation goes? Yeah, they're not capitulating yet. So I need to take Quetta here. And then that should do it. I feel like I should have gotten the pop-up already. I haven't, like, scouted what is the quote-unquote proper way to do this, the war with Afghanistan. Because, I mean, that's part of the fun of Kaiserreich is you try to make good decisions, they don't work out, you get screwed, you gotta live with it. It sucks, but it's fun. It's a much less predictable game than vanilla, which is what I think is one of its biggest appeals. Alright, oh shit. You see, yeah, I was just not quite fast enough. So, the 5th Anglo-Afghan War victory, the Amanul Khan's ambition of furthering Afghan influence in India, has been crushed. The troops of the Dominion have crossed the Durand Line, retaken the lost northwest frontier provinces and the cities of Peshawar and Quetta, while threatening Kabul itself. The Afghan state is in complete disarray and her populace begging for peace. We should at least take back our core provinces, but any further military actions would be politically costly. Setting up a puppet government would work as well, but that required just as much political capital. Well, I tried to cheese it, it didn't work. We're just gonna have to take the hit. That really sucks. But at least I'm still in the positive. So, now, Nepal, I'm not 100% sure exactly when their event fires. I want to say it's in like 1930, yeah, like 1937 at some point. So, I just want to be in position to attack them. Alright, the Imperial Dunbar of 1936, last held in 1911 to honor the late George V. The Imperial Dunbar was a mass event celebrating the coronation of a new British monarch as well as a moment for important proclamations regarding the state. Now, with Afghanistan defeated by Indians and the British Empire still in danger, many expect the new monarch Edward to have his powers further weakened by an empowered legislature. However, he is still seen as a uniting entity among the disparate ethnic, cultural, and religious groups that make up the subcontinent. Now, I'm pretty sure that Singh dies. I feel he's gonna die. And I've never heard of anybody keeping Edward. And it doesn't ultimately matter, because there's still going to be elections. So, we're going to go with the guy with the cool hat. Hail, Edward VIII, King, Emperor of India. Sweet, sweet hat. Did I get... Oh, yeah, and then my naval dockyards, I haven't assigned them. So, for right now, we're just going to pump out some submarines and be content with that. And I'm actually fine with trading. I have plans on becoming a real powerhouse, and I also want to be sure that I'm trading with my Entente fellow members as often as I can. So that's going to be the game plan here in regards to whenever I have to trade. I might also trade with Russia sometimes. Okay. New research is needed. All right, let's grab that, and too much of an ahead of time penalty there. So let's pick a doctrine. I don't know if I want mobile warfare or mass assault. Although grand battle plan could be good if I find myself on the defense, but really, I think I'm going to be the one who's going to be on the offensive here. Huh. I think... Alright, who can I hire depending on my government? Is there anybody who's cut off from me? Okay, so I can't get him if I'm a social conservative. And I have no theorists. I don't have anything that reduces my infantry production. Let's see, motorized, mechanized, reduced production costs there is cool. This is interesting. This is like a jack of all trades effect. Better infantry equipment, light tanks, tactical bombers, and light cruisers. Very interesting. We got fighters, small ships, only one industrial thing. Decisive battle. I might want to change it up here. School of Maneuver is really nice. But I've got there's so many bumpy areas out here. I'm not sure if tanks are the way to go. Maybe a little bit. I also need to pick one of these. Let's go ahead and grab the civilian economy now. Start working, because I do have this Power of the Princes effect and underdeveloped economy, both of which I want to take care of. So we're going to grab this. We're going to come over here, address the diarchy, and then we're going to spend a lot of time just focusing on the industry. Alright. I'm going to have tons of manpower, so maybe mass assault will be a little bit too over the top. Although I do like the reduced supply consumption. Is there another reduced supply consumption? Yeah, right here. I might go mass assault deep battle. I could go mass assault human wave offensive, but I think that's just a little bit too over the top as far as population goes. Or we could go with a modern blitzkrieg. I think oh, the planning speed is nice, but we're gonna try out mass assault doctrine. It was interesting doing it as Chile. I also like the minimum training level. That's really nice. Okay, now how many factories do I got? I still got like 5 working. Cool. Yeah, mass assault will do just fine. Here we go, the 1936 Dominion elections. Now that Afghanistan has been dealt with the country secured, King Edward has decided to hold elections. 4 major parties are competing for the people's votes. The Indian Liberal Party under V.S. Srinivasa Sastry, the socially liberal Swaraj Party under Narasimha Kelkar, and the socially democratic All India Home Rule Party under Muhammad Jinnah, and finally the more conservative Unionist Party under Sikandar Hayat Khan. So I think we're going to go with the market liberals, although I think, don't I get political power if I do one of these others? If I do, I thought like the social liberals gave you political power. I guess not. But we're going to have the Liberal Party, Market Liberal Party win. Okay. So that puts us at enough to get out of this low popularity zone. Very cool. Yeah, so we're embracing capitalism. We're bringing back together the empire. That is the goal here. Average popularity, the civilian support for the ruling party has reached an average level which influences our political power. While we may need to consult our opposition for some reforms, we can still govern well. I thought, right, yeah, medium popularity. I need to get high popularity. I need to be at least 60. Our ideology has grown. We're actually going to skip it right now. I don't want to be spending all this political power if I don't have to. Now, it doesn't really matter who I picked. I still need to be at a world tension of 75% to take a lot of these places. But we're ready to fight Nepal when the time comes. Yeah, and plus this gives us an extended border with the commune, who very curious to see who they are going with. And I really, really, really hope that the Federation does not break up. I just feel like that wouldn't even be fair. Yeah, it would just be way too easy to steamroll them. Yeah, so I hope I get... And plus, I just want to take it all in one fell swoop. I'd rather fight like a cool big war. The passing of Sir Mian Fazul-e-Hussain, the architect of the gentry-peasant Kisan political alliance that laid the groundwork for the powerful Unionist Party. Sir Mian Fazul-e-Hussain has passed away after a prolonged period of illness, having been absent from the day-to-day running of the party for a prolonged period of time to his illness. Fazal-e-Hussain will nevertheless be sorely missed within conservative circles. So I lose 20 political power. Alright, next, let's knock out... There's a few things, like these economy acts are good, and I also want to address the diarchy, and I want to join the ISAC at some point, so I'm going to be spending almost no time actually reforming my army through focuses. I'm just going to build it up the old-fashioned way. I think... How much political power does this cost me? Fuck. 0.25. But I really need factories. Like, we're going to go with the status of the diarchy. Alright, and I think that's long enough for today. I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. Thank you for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games. Please be sure to subscribe and click the little bell so you're always notified whenever a new episode of this series is up. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.